Excuse me. Could you direct me to your PIO?
The lady right there in the purple.
Ah, okay, thank you. Well, the PIO is now the lady in the purple, not a lieutenant apparently, unless she's a lieutenant who's out of uniform, which is unlikely. Oh, there she goes. Your PIO?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Ah, she's on the phone. What a bummer. Let's see. She's probably a busy lady. Looks like they're setting up, asking some questions over here. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of people. What's up over here?
This is no different. We try to stay away from political statements as far as our beliefs on possession and the legalization of marijuana. That's not for us to decide. That's up to the legislature. We have a duty to uphold the law. We have a duty to enforce the law fairly and equitably. But we also have to balance that with people's constitutional rights. And that's where this particular issue is unclear at this point. Sheer possession is against the law. However, where does that weigh in respects to a person's constitutional right for religion and assembly? So that's kind of the crux of where this discussion is today.
I have another question for you. So at what point, okay, so would this be the first time that you've ever made an arrest, if you have to make one, at a Church of Cannabis event or anything kind of related to something like this in this nature? And you asked the question.
Okay. And if you did have to make an arrest here today, would this be the first time that you've had to make an arrest at an event like this, Church of Cannabis, something like this?
To my knowledge, there has not been an open use of a controlled substance under the guise or under religion or a church service to our knowledge. With that being said, since today is July 1, since RFRA takes effect in the state of Indiana today, this probably would be our first instance if we have to make an arrest for possession of marijuana in the church.
So this would be a first?
This would be a first.
And in terms of all the different drugs, alcohol included, crystal meth, etc., and marijuana, what would you say you have the most trouble with in Indianapolis?
Right now in Indianapolis, heroin.
Right.
If you want us to be perfectly honest, heroin is a drug that has taken its foothold in Indianapolis and in the surrounding area in the suburbs. So we have had a large amount of heroin overdoses, seizures of heroin by our officers. So my opinion is that heroin is
Okay. And with marijuana, do you have any problems, and what kind of problems do you have?
I mean, marijuana is common. We make arrests for possession. We make arrests for dealing. We come across marijuana every day in our jobs. So it's just another controlled substance that the police encounter in the city of Indianapolis on a daily basis.
But if you had to compare it with all the other arrests that you make for all the other drugs, where would it rank? And answer today. Right.
And if you had to compare marijuana with all the other kind of drug arrests that you would make, where does marijuana rank?
I don't know. I would have to get the statistics for you on that. I know we make a number of marijuana arrests every day. We make a number of arrests for possession of controlled substances every day. So where marijuana ranks in the hierarchy of our drug arrests, I don't have that information right now.
Right.
But obviously we do make arrests every day for possession of marijuana.
And the Grand Poobah here, Bill Levin, kind of a character. Have you had any experience with him in the past?
Personally, no. I know he's a staple within the city of Indianapolis. I know that he has a foothold. He's run for office. He's a businessman, and he has quite the history in the city of Indianapolis. So I don't know him personally, like I said. So be interested in the meeting. If we cross paths today, be interested to shake his hand, see how things are with his day.
I'm good.
Okay.
Would you mind answering a couple other questions?
Hey guys, let's do it like this. He's only gonna probably do one of these, so let's get this kind of organized.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Sure, my pleasure. Welcome to Indiana.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Lieutenant, what's your first name?
Richard,
Richard.
R-I-C-H-A-R-D. Last name Riddle, R-I-D-D-L-E.
And it's Indianapolis, Marion County.
Indianapolis Metropolitan
Oh,
Police
Metropolitan.
Department.
You want to use this as your backdrop still?
Is your car clean enough?
No.
Are you happy?
No, it's still.
Let's do it back there.
I don't. I just started.
Okay.
Can you tell us how many resources you guys have here? How many police are here?
We typically don't discuss the specifics.
It looks like a whole lot.
We have a number of officers. This is the number of officers present are pretty comparable to any large event that we have in the city of Indianapolis.
Would you consider this a large event?
It's a medium-sized event.
Yeah.
So we have a number of police resources dedicated to the neighborhood and this event today.
So if there was nothing to do with marijuana at this church event and this was simply a church event, would the officer turnout be the same?
It honestly depends on the number of parishioners present, the parking issues, the community concerns, and anything that goes along with that. We're simply responding to public safety issues and complaints from the community.
So for a religious service of this size, which appears to be very small, have you ever personally been involved in sort of policing traffic like this, or surrounding the religious establishment in this way?
Honestly, it depends on what is considered a religious establishment and what is going on in a particular event. Obviously, we have traffic control at a number of events. We have traffic control at churches. We have traffic control during funerals. And sometimes on Easter, we have traffic control at churches. With that being said, for this event, we don't know how many people are going to show up to this event. We've heard anywhere from a few hundred to a few thousand. So we obviously have to base our response and our manpower allocation based upon the concerns of traffic and public safety.
Will there be officers plainclothed or otherwise inside the service?
Certain aspects of that we won't discuss publicly.
So hypothetical question, if someone in there, if you were to hear word of mouth, somebody says somebody in there's lighting up, would you guys enter?
I think that's based upon if we have probable cause at the time.
Would that constitute probable cause if someone said somebody's lighting up in there?
I think that we would have to do a little more investigating, see if we smell, see, or use any other senses to detect the smell of burnt marijuana or raw marijuana.
Is there going to be this type of response at every service they have going forward?
We don't hope so. We certainly figure that today will be the showcase event to see what direction the church is going to take in the future. And obviously, depending on what happens today, we will reevaluate our plan and go from there.
Lieutenant, someone just said that, there's more police here than on Monument Circle. What are you guys preparing for, and does this church warrant this type of response?
There probably are more police here than on the circle today. We are responding to an event. This is like any event that we have in Indianapolis. We have to plan for different contingencies. We have to base it on the number of people that we anticipate. We have to base it on traffic patterns. We have to base it on public safety issues that we have to address and that the community expects us to address. With that being said, there are a number of police resources here today, all in anticipation of either a large crowd that is gathering or blockage of the street or any other public safety issues that we may have to address.